Okay, so what I want is now whenever you insert something in here, you will see that here too. Okay, so that's the purpose we are creating a trigger. Okay, so just follow with me in this trigger. Okay, so create trigger, creating a trigger, this is the command. Okay, so create trigger. Okay, and the trigger name. The trigger name is, we can give anything for trigger. So I'm just giving insert EMP trigger. It can be anything. Okay, so what I want to do is now the trigger, this can fire at 3 times. One, before I do my work, or after I do my work, or instead of I do my work. So what I want is, when I insert something into the when I insert something into this employee trigger table, I want that to be inserted, and then I want that to be inserted in this table too. So I need this after insert on. Okay, so after insert on the employee trigger. Employee trigger. So this line shows this can be after or before or instead. So here I'm not doing anything before, I mean after. I'm sorry, I'm doing after I insert onto employee trigger. So once I insert into employee trigger table, so this for each row, okay, I'm inserting, after I insert for each row, okay, I have to follow this syntax, like begin, every time this should be begin. Okay, so what I'm doing now, after I insert into this one too, right? So I'm gonna write this now. This statement should be in the begin and close. So I started begin, insert into, okay, what is the table name? I think dummy employee trigger, right? Because we are inserting into employee trigger and we want that to be happen into this table. This table, dummy employee trigger. Okay, so dummy underscore employee underscore trigger. The same thing, we have to give the field names, EMP ID, comma ename, comma e department, values. Okay. Now when it comes to values, what are the values we are inserting? What the values we inserting in this one, right? In the employee trigger. Okay, so every time when we insert something in the trigger, it finds that is the new value. When you insert, it is the new value. Okay. When you update, whatever the previous is old, and then what you change is new one. So that is the keyword. So every time you are inserting, please make sure this line, this column, new, okay, because we are inserting the new value, new dot, what is the first name, first one, EMP ID. Okay, so this one, it is from this table, employee trigger table. So if in this case our employee ID, ename, department all are same, but if it is different, we have to make sure what we are entering here is from this table. Employee trigger table, not dummy employee, because these are the dummy employee fields, EMP ID. So for this EMP ID, we are giving new EMP ID, comma, again new dot ename, comma, again colon new dot e-department. Okay, now we are done with our trigger. So in this trigger, what it shows is we are inserting to the dummy employee trigger table these two values, and what we are getting is from the employee trigger table. Okay, and this semicolon, we begin the trigger, so we are ending the trigger now, and we have to give the trigger name when we end. The trigger name is insert underscore EMP underscore trigger. So insert underscore EMP underscore trigger, semicolon, and always when you enter something in the trigger, just don't forget to give this slash. Okay, this slash. Okay, so now trigger is created. Okay, now trigger is created. So now since we have this trigger, every time whatever we insert into this table, employee trigger table, whenever we insert into employee trigger table, what happens is after we insert something to this table, automatically we are inserting something into employee dummy table from this table. Okay, so I am trying to insert. So you all got this message, right? Trigger is created. No any errors, right? Now can you try to insert something to this table? Insert into employee trigger. Try to insert into employee trigger table. Okay, once you insert into employee trigger table, just see that it is in the dummy employee table too. It's there? Yeah, so insert into employee trigger table, employee trigger. I'm just putting the values. Let's say EMP ID is 2, EMP name is Mike, department is account. Okay, so now I just inserted something into employee trigger table. Let's see if I have that in the employee dummy trigger table. Select dummy underscore employee trigger. Okay, see, I did not manually insert this anything, but because of this trigger, whatever I insert here, I am getting inserted here too. Okay? Okay, so I am going to slightly change this trigger now. What I want is, like, say now, when I update anything in the trigger, let's see now I am changing the department. Okay? So in my original table, this is employee trigger is my original table. Okay? So whenever I updated whenever I change this account, so I'm changing this account to IT or account to software or anything, or HR or anything. So when I change this one, I want to see the previous one and the old one and the new one. Okay? So what I can do, so that like in case if you mistakenly make any changes, like you always have the previous record. Okay? So I'm going to change this table now. The dummy employee table. So I'm adding a field now. So how do we change the table? Alter table dummy employee trigger. Dummy employee trigger. Now I am adding a new field. Add. So E department, I am adding a let's say old department. Old department. Old deep. Okay. So that is WACA, let's say maybe 10. Okay, so this table now have employee ID, employee name, employee department, in addition to that all department. So whenever I am changing something, this should show the old department and the new department. For that we need to create the trigger now, right? Okay, so can you create the trigger? In that case, the only thing to be changed is instead of inserting, we are updating. Okay, we are updating and we are getting the new value and old value here. Can you do that? Okay, just follow with me. Create trigger. Okay, so instead of I'm giving a new name for the trigger. Let's say update EMP trigger. Okay. After. Okay. Now what I am doing after? What is the field now? After. Update. Alter is for the table schema changes. So I'm just gonna change the name. I mean fields. So after update. Okay, update means update of what? So there are in this table we have employee name, employee department name and employee ID. We are gonna check update of what? We are not gonna check if updating employee name, right? So update of
employee trigger that department.
Sorry?
Employee trigger that department.
Yeah, department. So update of E department, right? E debt. Okay. We can check more than one updates. If you want, we can check employee department, employee name and everything. But right now, we want to take care of employee department too. Okay. After update of employee department, on which table? Employee trigger table.
Update off or on?
Update of. For the table only we give on, right? So in this case, inserting means inserting everything. So insert on table name. Here update of the field on table name. So whenever it comes update, we need to put off and the fields, then on table name. Okay. For the same thing for each row. For each row. Okay, begin. Okay, now the same, what we have to do is the simple. Now what we have to do here, after begin, what we have to do? You can check here what we have to do now. So this is gonna trigger after updating. So if we update employee department of this table, what we exactly need now? We need to what?
Update.
Yeah, what we have to do now? In this table, what we have to do? Dummy employee table? Yeah, what we have to do? What is the
We need to insert the old record.
insert? Yeah, insert, right? Insert, because not update, because we don't have any record here. So when we update, we need to have the employee ID name, the department name before we update, and the department name after we update. Okay, so begin insert.
Insert into select form.
Yeah, into. No, we don't have to put select from because we have the new and old keywords. Okay,
Out.
into dummy employee trigger table. Dummy underscore employee underscore trigger table. Okay, so the fields are EMP ID, comma ename, comma edef department, comma we have added a new field, right? That is old department. Old department. Okay. Values. Okay. So values. Now, once we update, okay, we are gonna get new. Anyways, we don't have to worry about employee ID. So this is gonna be new employee ID, new employee name. This one new employee department and old employee department. So the trigger will take care of what is the department before we update. Okay, so same new dot EMP ID, comma new dot ename, comma new dot e department, comma. Okay, now what is here?
E department?
Hmm?
E department?
Old
Yeah,
dot.
old, because we have changed that, right? So new is after we change, old is before we change. So all these come only when we update, okay? And delete, even delete, you can get whatever the deleted one. So old dot e department. Okay, so this is the query. Now, and the trigger name is update underscore EMP underscore trigger and the slave. Okay, I think the connection lost. Why is that?
Yeah, this is.
Okay, I think there is a problem with connection. Anybody has the issue?
Yeah.
Okay, so right. Anyways, we are almost done. What is that? Okay, I'm gonna copy this and we'll see. Okay. Okay, so this trigger is created now. So what is going to happen is now whenever after I update of department, this record is going to be in the dummy employee table. Okay, select all from okay, so what I am going to do is now I am going to update this one. Instead of IT I am going to put HR. Okay, so update employee trigger set E department equal to HR where E department equal to IT. Okay, see now what I did was I updated this table, employee underscore trigger table. I updated this IT into HR. Okay, so if I select, see, you don't see this IT now, you see only HR. But if I go to dummy underscore employee, dummy employee underscore trigger. See now here, if you go to dummy employee trigger table, okay, if you go to dummy employee trigger table, you can see this one, employee department, old one is IT and the new one is HR. So whenever you update, you can get the old one and new one. Okay. Also, if you want to somebody to not to change this one and find out, like if you put instead of after, but if you put instead of here, when you create trigger, you can see create trigger update. Create trigger and trigger name instead of update of E department. So what happens is when somebody is trying to update the employee department, it will not let you update that one. The trigger will not let you update. Instead of that, you can do something here. In the log table, instead of that, you can find out like whoever updating. So in the real system, whenever you do something, you can find the employee, whoever work on that person's employee ID or something. So instead of update of E department on this table, you can find insert into the employer name. So you can find out who is trying to update. Okay? Or after, instead of after, you can put before update. So before also you can do something, or before delete. So these things can be changed. So see, this after, this can be instead of or before, right? And here you can get any number of fields. Update of employee department, employee name, anything you can have here. And this is the place you can find out. So every time you have a you have to know that there is a word called new and old. Even if you delete something, you can still find out the new and the old. So new is the one, I mean, when you delete something, there is no new because there is no record, but you can find the deleted one from the old keyword. Okay? So it's good in your project if you use triggers in the login table or something, so that will give like some good credits for you. Okay? Okay, thank you. And the next time we're gonna connect to the database to